Have you ever wanted to make a difference? Share with others who are less well off. Lend a helping hand. Change the things you're not happy about. This is how one young man did just that. How he rallied the community behind his cause, and how he'd welcome your support to bring smiles to the faces of youngsters in Fiji. Peter Cole lives in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. He's in his early 20s and a regular visitor to Fiji. He was troubled by the state of sports equipment in many of the schools over there.
I saw kids on the playground kicking Coke bottles and playing cricket with like baseball bats and all equipment they have from around the house. They just carved out of wood themselves. They had no real professional equipment that is made for playing sport. So what I decided to do was come back here and ask people what they had in their backyard and see if they had sporting equipment they could give us to take back over to these kids.
Peter Cole talked to people, anyone and everyone who would listen.
I asked a few friends around me to help with letterbox drops. So we went around to at least probably 5,000 houses around Melbourne in our areas, and we rang the local papers, and the local papers got straight onto it and started promoting it for us as well at a local level in the regions that those local papers were being sent to.
He recruited his family and friends and made some new ones.
I received a very special letter from Dick Smith, who wanted to support the mission personally, not through his businesses, and he sent me a cheque for $500, which was very, very generous. And look, I really, really appreciate someone like Dick Smith coming on board and supporting our mission. We need these people who are high profile to assist us and help us so that the rest of the community can see that what we're doing is really, really needed and necessary.
One of Peter's friends, his former teacher Steve Longham, was to become a pivotal member of the team, and together they gathered a small army of volunteers.
I remember one school in particular, there were 60 students. There was a gold coin donation, so they could bring $1 or $2, and they gave us a $120 donation, so that means that every kid gave us $2, which was just amazing.
Along the way, there were difficulties.
After I gathered together at least a tonne of sporting equipment, I gathered it would be too expensive to air freight it over to Fiji. So I decided to look elsewhere, like shipping companies, and I found a company in Geelong, Newtown in Geelong, called Transom Marine. And the man down there, Bill Chittenden, he's the one who owns it. He said he'd be more than happy to supply us with the container for free. He would pay the freight charges, and look, I just could not believe our luck.
Finally, the goods were collected and packed, and the container and crew set off for Suva. On arrival, they were met with a series of delays. Getting the container through customs, paying import duty, finding vehicles for the distribution, but somehow they just wouldn't quit.
And after 7 days negotiating with the government, it came through, and the government were very supportive. So we were very thankful to the Fijian government for supporting our mission and understanding what we were trying to do. The Youth and Sports Ministry in Fiji funded the distribution of the goods. They gave us a grant which we hired 2 vans with and drove around Fiji. I think we did about 15,000 kilometres. The usual day in Fiji would be wake up at about 5:30 in the morning and load the vans by 6 and then have breakfast about 6:30 and take off. Arrive home at about midnight, just after midnight every night. So it was a very, very strenuous agenda. In total, we got to 85 schools on the main island of Fiji. Bearing in mind that there's over 150 schools, we still have a lot of work to do. There are over 350 islands in Fiji, and most of the islands are inhabited, and we want to get sporting equipment out to those people, out to those schools, out to those kids.
So Peter, how can we help?
By gathering as much sporting equipment as possible from all your friends, your neighbours, your family, and getting in contact with me, and I will come and pick it up, or you can deliver it however you want to do it.
The spirit of sharing, a remarkable mission with all goals achieved. $100,000 worth of sporting gear distributed to 85 needy schools in Fiji, and a positive impact on the lives of countless children. Why not join in? Donate sporting goods, new or used, or the money to help get them to Fiji.
I'm hoping with this sporting equipment that I've taken to Fiji, that in the next few years we'll have a Commonwealth Games or an Olympic champion coming out of Fiji that would have been a direct result of our mission.
Please call Peter Cole on 043 999 7583 or send an email and be part of the spirit of sharing.